Hey guys, it's Tamara Bennett from Southern Adornments Decor. I'm back with another member of our Painters Clubhouse, Miss Delane Camerisi from Ohio. Say hello, Delane.
Hello.
Delane has been a member of our clubhouse for quite a little while now. Do you remember when you joined originally?
I think it was back in the fall, like
Okay, so you're
I
coming up
want to
on
say
maybe
like
a year.
September or
Okay,
something around there. So almost a year. Yeah.
yeah. And so can you tell me a little bit about like what were you doing before you joined the clubhouse? Like, do you work? Are you retired?
I'm kind of retired. Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, I worked for 15 years as an aide
Uh-huh.
with handicapped children, and then I started watching my grandkids, and pretty much that's basically what I did. What I've done.
Yeah.
And so now, yeah, my husband's retired and I'm kind of I guess you would call it semi retired.
You're one of
So,
those people who can't just sit on your hands after you retire. You've got to be doing something.
yeah, yeah. As well, the grandkids keep you young.
They
So,
do.
yeah. And
Yeah.
they're a joy. So, yeah, I do that too. So, but yeah, that's what I did. And so pretty much that's about, I mean, that was a lot actually. So,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
the 15 years with the kids was a lot to take. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's about what I did.
And what made you decide to take up painting? Have you always been a crafter or a painter?
Not always a painter, but I've always been a crafter.
Mm.
Kind of got my husband came down this morning and he's looking around and he's like, "Could you clean a table off for me, please? I've got the kitchen, I've got the living room, I've got rooms in the basement." He's like, so I said, "Look, I'm a out of control crafter." And he goes, "I don't think so." He goes, "I don't think this is normal." And I said, "Well, ask some other crafters." But
We can
anyway,
ask any of the ladies in these
yeah,
comments right now. Is it normal to have every table in your house covered with some sort of craft?
right,
I
yeah,
can attest that that is very normal. Right now, the table in my sunroom is covered with a project that my husband and I started and haven't finished yet painting.
right,
So
yeah. I know I get started and then sometimes it has to wait or whatever. So, but and so um actually as a child my mom used to take me to the art museum. Since I art museum, she always drew and painted. It's kind of in my family where everybody loves to craft and
mhm.
make things and do some work. But um so anyway, and I used to love to go to art class with my kids, and I learned a lot in drawing. We would paint a little bit but not um as much as some other projects, but I absolutely loved it. So I did, but this is all new. When I saw your video, that's where I was like, I stumbled on it on Facebook,
Yeah.
and I just love to watch people paint. And then when I saw the end product, I was like, oh my gosh, I got to try this. So
Yeah.
yeah. So
People
yeah, go ahead.
People ask me often, like, how are you not tired of door hanger painting? Like, you've been doing this for 8 years now. Don't you get bored of it as like because I used to do all kinds of crafts. I did sewing, I did jewelry, paper crafting, scrapbooking, card making. I've done almost all of it. And so it's weird that I went from doing all of that to suddenly
Yeah.
now I'm singularly focused on door hangers. And I think it's just because like there's so many techniques you can incorporate into this one
Yeah.
type of craft that it doesn't get boring to me because anytime I want to change it up, I'll just try a new medium on a door hanger.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I've learned so much. And like I said, it's just so relaxing and just, you know, I love the end product. And, like I said, I've learned so much, like just different techniques. And I'll always show my finished products to my grandsons because they love to kind of see what I'm doing. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I did Henrietta, and my 3-year-old grandson said, I said, "Do you know what this is?" He goes, "I think it's an eagle." I said, "No, it's not an eagle." So hopefully it didn't look that bad,
Henrietta looked
but
majestic,
yeah,
didn't she?
yeah. But it's fun. I mean, I love it because I love to craft. But when the end products, I'm like, oh, when you're starting out and you're doing it, you're kind of like, oh my gosh, I don't know how this is going to end up. And
Oh,
then when you get done, you're like, oh my gosh. So yeah,
there's like a deep satisfaction there. I can remember when I first started doing this, the whole process to me was like magic. You know, the fact that I could walk into Lowe's and buy this huge sheet of plywood and I could bring it home, cut it up, and turn it into something that, you know, at the end looks like this.
yeah,
There was such a deep satisfaction that it started out as this big, huge piece of wood. And now I've turned it into something gorgeous you can hang on your door. It was just from start to finish, it was very satisfying and I felt very accomplished.
yeah, yeah. The funny thing is, and I probably shouldn't say this, I don't have one that I've painted on my front door because I did the is it Lola
Hmm.
cow, and I did that, and it's on my daughter's front door because she loves the cows. But I just haven't picked one yet that I get full sun, so I've got to really coat it really good. So I'm hoping to get one up for fall. So,
Mine
but
changes out almost weekly just because
yeah,
I'll take it in there, I'll hang it up, and I'll take a picture of it, and then I get distracted and shut the door, and that new one stays on the door until the next
yeah,
week when I need another photo.
yeah,
And sometimes I will remember to go get it off the door and bring it in here and hang it up or something like that. But
yeah.
yeah, Marie says she can completely agree with what you were saying. She said the basement to the kitchen and even outside on nice days, all the tables are covered with crafts.
Yeah. And
I did
he's
see a
like, he goes, this is just not right. And I said, well, you better ask the other crafters because that's what, it's like
yeah.
sometimes I do feel out of control, but it's like, then I got to refocus and try to get a little bit more organized. And so hopefully with my grandson, uh, being gone a few extra mornings, I'll try to get everything a little bit more organized. But like this morning, I was, doing some stuff and I had my tape measure and all of a sudden it's gone. Like tape when you're doing Christmas presents, you're looking
Mhm.
all over.
Yeah.
I got on Amazon and ordered a bunch of the little tiny, because I'm like, I'm tired of losing them.
Yeah,
So
you need a
yeah,
tape
it's
to go in
easy.
every place in the house.
Yeah,
It's just
it's
a different
easy
one.
to lose them. So,
Yeah.
but
Well, I don't know if other people feel this way or not, but if my craft room starts to get overly cluttered and like I can't even set something down on a desk, at some point I reach a threshold and I'm like, all right, everything else has to stop. I have to
yeah,
get all this room in order
yeah.
again before I can be creative. And then once the desk is cleared, I walk in here and I'm like, ooh, I want to make something because it like I'm like I see
It
all this
feels
empty
empty.
space to create.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I finished Henrietta, and I did it in my kitchen on my island, and I had my little cardboard there, and I walked in yesterday morning, and I'm like, this doesn't seem right. It should have a board or something there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of getting to be a habit. But I don't know. It's funny. Yeah.
Janet says it's a controlled tornado. That's a good
Yeah.
way of describing it, Janet.
Yeah.
Um,
For sure.
I am so proud of so many of our ladies who did the Henrietta workshop. Holly here just commented. She said, the first door hanger I made was Henrietta, and now I'm hooked. She said, I still can't believe I painted it. I felt so accomplished. So,
Yeah.
do you have any advice for her going forward, Delane? Like, what
Uh,
should she paint next now that she's done Henrietta?
well, I don't. She can go back and do Lola.
Hmm.
That would be a great one. I'll tell you when I did that, I felt like an artist. Like I was
Yeah.
like, I cannot believe I did this.
Lola was a little challenging. Like to look
Yeah.
at it, it looked hard, but it really wasn't when you followed the
Yeah.
steps.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I'm excited for fall. All the fall stuff.
I am
So
too.
I love
For
fall.
Christmas, the Making Spirits
But
Bright door hanger design that we gave away last night,
yeah.
that one would look really good on the back of Henrietta too.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I would suggest anything. And like I told you earlier, I'm kind of working on football. So I made one of my favorite things about
Mhm.
football and fall
Yeah.
and football and friends. And I made that one, but I don't have it here right by me. But anyway, I made that an 18-inch, and I'm getting ready. I think I'm going to do I've got my list right here. It's the Friends in Football, the one
Mm.
that's on the round with the half of a
Yeah.
football. field thing. I love that one too. So
Yes. This past
yeah,
Friday, for those of you watching, we came out with 5 new football designs. We already had a bunch of them in the shop, but football people always love more football designs. So we came out with 5 new ones this past Friday, and that's what she's talking about is one of those.
yeah. I just love it. And everybody loves well, not everybody, but a lot of people love football. So
Yeah.
and I try to change things up. Like, I did wear my grandson, his colors for his
Mhm.
school thing. And then I thought about trying to do, well, of course, we're Cincinnati Bengals. So,
Yeah. Gotta do
people
that.
love that. Yeah, people love that. So, yeah, I like to try different things too.
I
So,
just saw a question earlier that we missed. Julie Hayes is asking, do you have any tips on how to get faster at painting? Sometimes I feel like I'm spending too much time painting. I think, Julie, that's just up to each person's like individual preference. So I know some ladies who will take like 7 or 8 hours to paint one door hanger and they do it a little at a time or they just take their time doing it. But if you're wanting to get faster at painting, I think it's just going to come with time and practice. And you also have to let go of trying to make every line perfect and trying to get and if you mess up a little and get out of the line, don't feel like you have to fix that right now. Just keep moving, just keep painting. Because a lot of times the things that you're doing next, the next layer or whatever you're doing, will cover up your mistake. And so if you
right.
spend too much time, oh, I got to fix this little spot, I got to fix that little spot, it does
Yeah.
slow you down a lot.
Yeah. Cause that's what, if I do a little bit of the lines, then I'm thinking in my brain, like, this is my one sort of downfall is that I feel like I have to outline everything with my paint pens to kind of cover up the little flaws.
Uh-huh.
So I need to, um, I did make one with the friends across with the flowers. I did do that without doing the things on the side.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes my hand's not as steady as it probably could be, but
Yeah.
but I try not to rush because well, I try to be a perfectionist, but you know, I can't, I think that's kind of gotten less over the years, but yeah, so because I always feel like, well, I can just go back and do the
Yeah.
outline with, I love the paint pens.
I
So,
do too. Hmm.
but I still want to learn how to do lettering without them. So that's one of my goals is to work on that.
Good. Yeah, I was gonna ask, what one of your goals was gonna be moving forward. I know a lot of people one lady that I met at the Deco Art Factory tour that we did a little while back, she said she heard me talking about kind of getting away from using paint pens as much to use like a round tip brush, and she said, "Ever since you said that, I've been trying to get better at doing like outlines or lettering with a brush," and she said, "I am getting better and I'm enjoying that part of it." So I think if you can
Yeah,
find little things like that to continue to challenge yourself, that's how you grow and get faster at stuff.
right. Yeah. So I'm going to keep, I try it. And then if it doesn't, you know, work to my standards,
Yeah.
then I get out the paint pen. But yeah, that's something I really want to work on and do that. And then I'd really like to try to, I feel like when you want to start, if I wanted, I would like to sell them.
Mhm.
So if I would, I feel like I have to have more products. So I'm just kind of going to paint more and get more things. And then I would sort of like to try, doing a paint party. So,
Yeah.
but I have to kind of sit and really process and think it out, you
Yeah.
know, best way would be to do it. But, I would really like to do that too. So
Yeah.
I,
That
I,
sounds good.
my list is a mile long and
Yeah.
I never, I don't know. I try to do what I can. So
Yeah. Well, it
yeah.
sounds like you're on the right track and you've done, a lot so far just to get to where you are right now. So I
Yeah.
would not be surprised if, within the next year or whatever, if all of that stuff starts happening for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Keep my fingers crossed, but yeah, it's I love it. I mean, it's absolutely I love that, I can get online and look through the templates that you've supplied for us, and just even all the tutorials. Just I can go back if I can't, because I tell you sometimes I'm like, how does she paint so much, like every day? And I'm like, I want to sit and do it because, you know, I kind of like the idea of painting with somebody. That's why I like the
Mhm.
uh, Zoom parties or
Yeah.
whatever, because I did it one time, and I mean, you can just sit and talk to other people while you're crafting on whatever, and you know, you don't feel as lonely sitting there by yourself all the time. So I enjoy that part of it too, and I love the encouragement that the other um, PC participants, like how they um, make you feel, and the advice that they give you and everything. It's just a lot of help and everything. So I really enjoy that.
Marie must be on some of these paint parties with you. She said, "We sure love to talk." If you don't know what Delane's talking about, in our Painters Clubhouse membership, once a month we do a Zoom paint party, and it's just an opportunity for our members to log on and chat and get to know each other. And because a lot of these ladies are like down in a basement or in like a dining room by themselves, and their husband could care less about the painting, and they need somebody to connect with and talk to while they're crafting. And so this helps you guys connect with each other, even though you all live all across the United States.
Yeah, because then you have at least you're talking with somebody who has something else, the same thing in common,
Mm.
something that you enjoy doing. Like
Yeah.
my husband and I, we don't like to do the same things. So, and so, I mean, it's just kind of, a little bit of a fresh air to talk to
Hmm.
somebody who likes the same thing as you do. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
We got a couple questions here. Janet says, do you do more of the 18-inch or 12-inch size door hangers?"
I do. Uh, I would kind of say a little bit of both
Yeah.
because, I actually it's probably half and half. So
Yeah.
I mean, I love the idea of the 18-inch,
Hmm.
but I feel like, of course, maybe in my area, I don't know, people don't want to spend a lot of money.
Hmm.
I try to do the smaller ones too,
That's a
and of
good
course,
point. Yeah.
yeah, and the smaller ones, I feel like they could hang up in the house too.
Hmm.
Know that they'd want the 18-inch. Some of them might, but
Yeah.
it depends on where it's going. But yeah, I would say it's about a 50-50.
I also think it depends on the home. So, for example, like I have a really large front porch, and my door is like the focal point, and it's a pretty good sized door. So, I feel like I need the 18-inch to look proportional,
Oh yeah,
my door and my front porch and all that. My mother in law, on the other hand, lives in a mobile home. Her door is much like more narrow.
yeah.
And she said those 18-inch ones are way too big. And so she wants smaller ones for her door. Um, and then I
Yeah,
know
and
a
there's
lot of
a lot of
people who like hang them up like in an office door. They prefer the smaller ones too.
yeah, yeah. That's I yeah, that makes more sense now that you say that. So
Mhm.
I saw one of the one. Well, I made a teacher one for my grandson's teacher at the end of the school year, and that
Yeah.
would be perfect size. It was the 12-inch for
Mhm.
her classroom door, or on her wall or whatever. So, yeah, I understand that now. That makes a lot of sense.
Laura's asking if you cut out your own wood.
No, I do not. Um, I don't. I don't. I don't know if I would ever do that. Um, I did reach out to a friend today who has a laser,
Yeah?
and he does other things. But I had mentioned to him before about if I could find the wood, would he try it and just to see how it would go.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I haven't heard back from him, but I'm hoping we can at least try one and then, you
Mhm.
know, maybe go on from there. But no, I don't because I don't kind of have the means. And I think if I get any more things in the garage or anything, I'm going to get in trouble.
We don't want you getting in trouble. That's
Yeah.
too funny.
So, but
Oh.
yeah, no. So,
Well, I wanted to ask you a couple questions about the Painters Clubhouse. Like, I know you said that you kind of just found me on Facebook and you tried one project and then you were kind of hooked on it. So, what made you decide to actually like join Painters Clubhouse and do this like with a community instead of just trying to figure it out on your own and finding projects on Pinterest and whatnot?
well, don't have as much confidence in myself as you know. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of one thing. I mean, I've learned, like, when I joined, there was so much more to learn, and there's so many more things accessible to me than if I would have sat here and tried to do it by myself. So, that's one of the reasons,
So
you know.
after having been in for about a year, do you feel like there's still a lot to learn, or do you feel like you've kind of got,
Oh, there's always more to learn, always.
I
And
agree. I'm still learning myself. Sometimes I accidentally stumble across a new technique and I'm like, "Oh, I just taught myself something."
right,
It's
yeah,
kind of cool. Yeah.
yeah. And there's so many different things. And so, and like, there's certain things that you do that I'm like, I've tried, and I'm like, no, and I'll have to keep trying it till I see, get out of it what I feel that's, good
Yeah.
enough. Like the wood grain thing. I've
Mhm.
got the tools, but they never turn out the way yours do. So I'm like, so that's just something I just need to keep, practicing at and trying.
Yeah.
But
I
I,
wonder too if
know,
it has anything to do with the amount of pressure that you push down. I've got it
yeah,
sitting right here, but like you kind of have to push down and apply pressure as you're dragging. And I've heard some
yeah,
people say like, it's not touching here in the middle, it's only touching on the edges. And if you aren't applying pressure, you're not getting a good
yeah.
print. So,
I'll just keep plugging at it. I'm
yeah.
just, you know,
And
so
sometimes I teach stuff like, I might only teach something one time and then I move on to another technique because it's not really my style, but it's
yeah,
something that I think you guys would benefit from learning. So sometimes I'll just like try it one time on a project and show you, and then I might move on because it's not really my style. And so, something like this might not be your style, but it's kind of nice to know how to do it if you ever wanted to.
oh yeah, yeah. And I mean, one of my favorite techniques is the sponge and the to do
Yes.
rounds,
Mhm.
because if I have in my brain I'm going to start a couple projects, and I can just, like, say, like, if it's in the evening, I'll just go ahead and I'll get the coat, the
Base coat them. Yeah.
base coat on, and then if I come back to it the next day, then it's already ready to go.
Yeah.
So, and I can do that either on uh the blanks that I buy from you, or
Mhm.
I do it on my rounds and do my templates.
Yeah.
So either way, I can do it. So that's why I like when it starts getting cooler out. I'll go out on my deck and just sit there and paint some with the sponges.
Can't do
So
that today, can you?
no,
Your sponge would dry up and blow away before you even got
no,
started. It's so hot.
it is. It's so hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's. I mean, I never knew I could do that. So yeah, I've been up to the dollar store a few times to get my sponges. So
Yeah.
yeah, I love that.
Well, before we wrap this up, what is your favorite thing about the Painters Clubhouse?
Mm. My favorite thing, I think, is just the fact that if I have any questions, I can just get on there and look to see if I can find the answer. As far as like the Facebook, and I can put questions out there. Oh my gosh, and then everybody's so supportive and help with all the answers. And it's just, and I and like I said, it gives me a way to communicate with other people too.
Yeah.
So um because it seems like just since COVID, like everybody's kind of gotten a little bit more clammish, or
Mhm.
don't want to go out, or so anyway, that helps me to talk to other people that like what I like to do. And I just love the support, and just love doing it. I mean,
It's
it's,
good to feel a part of a community, I think,
yeah,
to feel like you belong somewhere and that everybody kinda, understands you and what you like.
right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like the fact that if I have a question, if I'm in the middle of a project, I can either look on my get on the face. Oh, and I know another thing I like is the fact that, um, because with the discounts that you
Mhm.
offer, discounts with the president. I keep saying presidents. The Painters Club
Yes. They
the
get
discount,
20% off of every purchase every day at Southern Adornments Decor, or
and
sorry, at shopdoorhangers.com.
I also love the discount on the paints through Deco. I mean, you get that twice a month. And so I usually will just keep, if I can't find it at my local Hobby Lobby, or I don't really look at Michael's too much, but Hobby Lobby has really kind of been dwindling on their colors.
Mhm.
If not, I can just get on there and I get a discount, and that helps a lot. So
Yeah. Yeah, so for those of y'all who don't know, maybe your new Clubhouse member didn't know this yet, we actually have a 30% off coupon code to use on the Deco Art website to shop for paints and supplies. And you can use that up to 2 times a month, I believe. Is
yeah,
that right, Delane?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 2
And there's
times.
a new code every month. So
Yeah.
just log in and get your new code.
So I just make my list, and then I'm like, kind of order them all at one time, and
Uh-huh.
then at least I have another chance if I kind of have a few more I need. But
Yeah.
my husband's like, how many more paints do you need?
Say
So,
all of them. All of
yeah,
them. There's
yeah.
not an
You
end.
got to have extras too, you
Yeah.
never know to run out. So, um,
Well, what final words would you have for somebody who's maybe on the fence and trying to decide if this is something they should do? Maybe they're struggling with the cost of it. What would you say to that person?
I'd say it's well worth it. It's well worth it. And if you want to learn more about painting and learn new techniques, and I mean, honestly, I can't say enough. It's been a good thing for me, and I think it's well worth it, and you will love it. So,
I
you know,
appreciate you saying that. If anybody is interested and ready to sign up now, we are having a special promo going right now. And if you join by Friday night, you can get a bonus template and 4 different videos showing you 4 options or ways to paint this fall pumpkin door hanger design. And so you can download that template. You could trace it on a canvas. You could trace it on a wood round. You could trace it on just a piece of plywood and cut it out yourself. Or you could order the wood blank from us and just follow along with the videos. But you can sign up now at paintersclubhouse.com. Thanks for joining me today, Delane. This was so
oh,
fun.
thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You try to stay cool up there in Ohio, okay?
Well, thank you. You too.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.